These are our live spoilers March 2nd to 6th. Stephanie's stalker revealed and Salem is about to explode. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, first of all, hi, glad you found us. You're in the right place, and if you've been here a while, you already know we don't just read you a summary and call it a day. We dig, we analyze, we argue, and sometimes, yes, we absolutely lose our minds over a soap opera plot twist at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday. No shame, that's the dual life. So let's get into it. 1. The big reveal. Owen is back. Alright, let's start with the moment that every single Stephanie fan has been waiting for. After weeks of slow burn terror, of Stephanie looking over her shoulder, of the audience being fed breadcrumb after breadcrumb, we are finally getting the stalker reveal on Monday. And here's the kicker. It's Owen. Wes Ramsey is back, baby. Now, for anyone who needs a refresher, and let's be honest, Days has a lot of moving parts. Owen is not some random villain they pulled out of thin air. This man has history with Salem. He has history with the Johnson family specifically, and that's what makes this so deliciously twisted. This isn't a coincidence. This is deliberate. This is personal. And I'll tell you what I think, right here, right now. Bringing Owen back for this storyline is one of the smartest writing decisions the show has made in a long time. Because the best soap opera villains aren't strangers. They're people from your past who never got closure. People who felt wronged. People who've been quietly obsessing while everyone else moved on with their lives. That's the psychology of a stalker done right. But here's the thing that's bugging me, and I know some of you are going to disagree with me in the comments, and that's fine. I welcome it. Why now? Why is Owen resurfacing at this particular moment in Stephanie's life? Is this truly about Stephanie, or is this connected to something bigger? Something involving the larger Johnson family web? Because let me tell you, Days does not bring back a legacy-adjacent character without a reason. There is always a longer game being played here. To Stephanie's emotional state and the Jeremy complication. Here's where it gets really complicated for Stephanie, and honestly, this is the part that I find most interesting from a character psychology standpoint. By Tuesday, she's still stuck emotionally, physically dealing with Jeremy. And the fact that this sick dynamic with Jeremy is running simultaneously with the Owen stalker reveal, that is not accidental storytelling. That is intentional pressure cooking. Think about it. Stephanie is surrounded by men who, in very different ways, are consuming her agency. Jeremy is draining her emotionally. Owen is terrorizing her physically. And meanwhile, the women in her life, her mother Kayla, the people who love her most, are operating in the dark. Let's be real for a second. Stephanie Johnson has never had it easy when it comes to love and trust. If you go back and look at her history on this show, the patterns, the cycles, she has consistently found herself entangled with men who, at their core, do not respect her autonomy. And the show keeps putting her in these situations because she is genuinely one of the most compelling legacy characters Days has. She's a Johnson. She carries all of that weight. And watching her fight her way out of danger is both heartbreaking and, honestly, thrilling television. 3. Kayla, Roman, Abe, and the family fracture. Now, Friday is when the emotional gut punch really lands. Because while Stephanie is trying to escape, and we'll get to that in a second, back in Salem, Kayla is seeking comfort from Roman and Abe. And listen, Mary Beth Evans as Kayla in distress is some of the most powerful acting on daytime television. Full stop. No debate. When Kayla is scared for her child, you feel every single second of it. But what really gets me is the parallel being drawn here. Steve, the great Steve Johnson, this legendary, iconic character, is out there getting advice, working the situation with Jada. And the fact that Steve and Kayla are separated in their grief, handling this from different angles, is such a realistic portrayal of how parents fall apart under pressure. They're not fighting each other. They're just fractured, each carrying the fear differently. That detail alone tells me the writers understand these characters deeply. Jada, being Steve's partner in this investigation, is also fascinating to me. Because Jada is sharp, she is methodical, and pairing her with Steve's more instinct-driven, street-level approach, that's a great dynamic. I have high hopes for what those two uncover together. For Friday's climax, Stephanie fights back. Okay. Here's where I need you all to really pay attention. Friday's climax, Stephanie actually attempting to escape Owen's clutches. This is the moment the entire week has been building toward. And I have a theory. Stephanie doesn't get rescued. Not fully. Not passively. I think, and this is me going out on a limb based on the DNA of this character, Stephanie gets herself out. Or at least, she plays a critical role in her own survival. Because that would be consistent with who she is. She is a Johnson. She is her father's daughter. The show has spent years establishing that Stephanie has an inner resilience that doesn't always show on the surface. But when she is truly cornered, she finds it. And you know what that reminds me of? Cast your mind back to Salem's history of women in danger. This is a show that has, over the decades, sometimes fallen into the trap of the passive victim waiting to be saved. But when Days does it right, when they let the woman drive her own survival story, it's electric. That's the version I'm rooting for here. Don't let me down, Salem. So where does all of this go from here? My prediction, and mark this video, come back and tell me if I was right, is that the Owen Kent revelation doesn't end with his capture. I think this opens a door to something larger. A connection to another Salem storyline that's currently running that we haven't fully connected yet. The business disruption elements teased for this same week are interesting too. Salem is never just one thing at a time. While one family is in crisis, another is making moves. Power shifts in this town are always happening on multiple levels simultaneously, and the writers are clearly threading several needles this week. What I know for certain is this is a week that matters for days of our lives. Not filler, not setup, payoff. The kind of week you watch live, or at least stay off social media to avoid spoilers, which, hey, if you're watching this video, maybe that ship has sailed. No judgment. That's what we're here for. Alright, that's where we're leaving it for now. This week in Salem is genuinely one of the most packed and emotionally charged setups we've had in a minute, and I am here for every second of it. Tell me in the comments, are you team Stephanie saves herself, or do you think Steve and Jada get there just in time? And what do you think Owen's real motive is? Because I know some of you have theories I haven't even considered yet, and that's my favorite part of this community. If this breakdown added something to your DOL experience this week, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. Stay dramatic, Salem. You always do.